Coming up tonight on the news at 5. A new law to improve health care and suicide prevention for veterans is on the books. What it means for the Treasure State. Plus, the Broadwater County Courthouse and Law Enforcement Center is on lockdown after a positive case of COVID-19.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Andy Curtis, and thanks for joining us today. Well, he was a popular guy around here over the weekend. Let's see if he stays in our good graces. Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenance.
Yeah, there may have been a few snowballs thrown at me at times over the weekend, but good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday to you all. That was a pretty impressive snow event for a lot of the state. I want to show you haze, though, because we've got raindrops on the camera here with temperatures in the 20s out the High Line. Roads don't look so bad, but it is going to get icy and nasty with freezing rain falling up on the High Line. The freezing rain indicated here by the pink, and I know the radar wants to say it's snowing out there around Hayes, but you just saw with your own eyes some raindrops there on the camera lens. So freezing rain making for some very, very slick conditions. A lot of the state was under a winter weather advisory through the course of the weekend. Well, a winter storm watch down the Rocky Mountain front out into the central part of the state for Wednesday and Thursday. We are not done with the snow here by any means. Precipitation potpourri, yeah, we've got it all. Some rain, some snow, some sleet and freezing rain. I'll have more on that coming up in Weather-Wise tonight at 6 o'clock. Here we snow again, another plowable snow or two before we get into the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, record cold likely. We could be headed below zero. More of the full forecast coming up.
Thanks a lot for that, Curtis. Well, legislation designed to improve mental health care and suicide prevention for veterans is now law. MTN's John Riley spoke with the bill's sponsor, Senator Jon Tester, about what this will mean for Montana's veterans.
This weekend, President Trump signed into law the Commander John Scott Hannon Veterans Mental Health Care Improvement Act of 2019. The legislation will reshape how mental health is looked at in the VA. Introduced by Senator Jon Tester and co-sponsored by 34 other Democrats and 18 Republicans, including Senator Steve Daines, it received overwhelming bipartisan support, passing the Senate unanimously.
The truth of the matter is what it does, it gives our veterans an opportunity to deal with one of the biggest issues that faces our veterans population. That's mental health.
The act will improve outreach to veterans and their mental health care options in several major ways. At least one suicide prevention coordinator will be in every VA hospital. Telehealth will be expanded, and the VA will collect and report data on their prevention methods and conduct research on mental health risk factors like high elevation.
What it will do, it'll help show which techniques are working and which techniques we're wasting our time with. Those studies, that tracking, is going to be critically important to determine how we appropriate money moving forward.
Commander John Scott Hannon of Helena served with SEAL Team 6 and was upfront and honest about his invisible wounds of war right up until his death 2 years ago.
He knew being a Navy SEAL commander was a way to show anybody can get these. You know, any stigma that you have or whatever form of weakness you might imagine comes with a mental health condition, here's this Navy SEAL commander to refute it.
The new law will not fix the suicide crisis overnight, but it will provide groundwork that can be used to make lasting impacts in years to come. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
The Veterans Crisis Line offers support to veterans and their loved ones. They have veteran-specific suicide prevention information, such as how to find nearby support and recognize warning signs. That number's on the bottom of your screen. Now, Montana is quickly approaching 24,000 cases of COVID-19, with about 1/3 of those cases currently active. The state also recorded new deaths today in Lewis and Clark, Glacier, Missoula, Yellowstone, and Bighorn counties, bringing the state total to 264. 339 people are currently hospitalized with the virus. MTN numbers will vary from those reported by state officials. We work to track data from the state and local health departments to give you the most up-to-date information available. And the Broadwater County Sheriff's Office reports a positive COVID-19 case in the county courthouse and law enforcement center. As a result, masks will now be required at all times in the building. The courthouse has been locked. In order to enter the building, a mask is required. In a Facebook post, Sheriff Wynn Meehan asked residents to be courteous and understanding and follow the Sheriff's Office official page and county website for any updates. Well, a 50-year-old Helena man died on Sunday evening in a crash on U.S. Highway 12 near East Helena. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Leo Dutton identified the man as David Wayne Young. The Montana Highway Patrol reports a pickup truck was traveling west at the East Helena Viaduct when the driver lost control, hit a guardrail, and came to a stop. Troopers say the driver called his family for help and contacted law enforcement. Dutton says Young was the driver's father and went to help him. MHP says around 8 o'clock p.m. while they were outside the stopped vehicle, an SUV lost control, hit the guardrail, and then hit Young. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Local trooper Lucas Hurley said speed and road conditions did play a role in the crash. Hurley said the investigative report will be sent to the Lewis and Clark County Attorney's Office, which will determine whether to issue any citations. And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this week one organization is making a nationwide effort to try and help end family and domestic violence. MTN's Coulter Anstad explains.
Hundreds of purple foam butterflies on wooden stakes were piled on a table at the Young Women's Christian Association in Great Falls Monday. They'll soon be displayed outside, representing local residents seeking shelter from domestic violence.
The numbers are actually not dwindling.
October 18th through the 24th is Week Without Violence Week for YWCA's nationwide. YWCA USA has organized events throughout the week.
Some resources are saying as high as 1 in 3 women now will experience intimate partner or family member violence.
The Great Falls chapter is promoting the week and says the increasing cases of violence, including around 550 in Cascade County in 2019, make it all the more important.
It really kind of is a litmus test for what we're doing as an organization and what we're doing as a community to make sure resources are available and that people are aware of them so they can get help or make a difference however they can.
In Great Falls, Coulter Anstad, MTN News.
To learn more about Week Without Violence Week, click on the link in this story up on our website. Well, we're closing in on Election Day, November 3rd, if you didn't already know. And as voters open their ballots, they're starting to see local candidates running to represent their immediate community. MTN's campaign coverage turns now to contested House districts in the Great Falls area. First up, House District 20. The district covers a pretty large area of Great Falls, from parts of Flood Road and Fox Farm to neighborhoods near Walmart on 10th Avenue South. Ballotpedia says the 2012 census count showed just under 10,000 residents live in this area. House District 20 is currently represented by Republican Fred Anderson. The Great Falls resident is running for election after winning the seat back in 2017 and has served on business and labor, agriculture, and education committees during his time representing HD20. MTN asked each candidate a number of questions, including how he felt the state has done as far as responding to the coronavirus. Anderson said he believes officials may have enforced a shutdown too early, which could be a reason for the spike in COVID cases we're seeing now. He would have liked to see Governor Bullock consider more input before dispersing federal dollars and more urgency when it came to loans and grants for small businesses.
Would have had the executive do a little different job of allocating and distributing the CARES money to small businesses. I think that from a business person's standpoint, it made it pretty tough when the executive branch sat on a large amount of money for a long time, and businesses were really struggling to keep their head above water.
Democrat Melissa Smith is also running for House District 20. She's a professional pianist and teacher in the Great Falls area. This is her first time running for office, but Smith told MTN that she's campaigned on behalf of candidates for over 30 years, most recently working for the Rob Quist campaign in 2017. We asked Smith what she thought of the state's coronavirus response, And she said she saw great communication from the state office at the start of the virus, and as we continue through the pandemic, more mandates and money came from Helena, which helped businesses keep order and schools open. But she says public health became politicized in some ways, and there was no way to streamline help for residents and businesses.
That was a little frustrating, I think, for people. And also, too, if you don't have broadband access, it was extremely difficult to figure out how to get help because, you'd call and, you'd maybe get connected, maybe you'd be disconnected. And, our public libraries did an excellent job in trying to help people, but it took a while before they were open.
MTN News also asked both Anderson and Smith what the biggest issues were for voters in their districts and why they were the best candidate to represent their area. You can hear their full responses to those questions on our website. And when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz will have a complete check of your forecast. And later, could getting COVID-19 now count as a pre-existing condition? We'll take a look at a case the Supreme Court is preparing to hear that could change how insurers cover such conditions.
It starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Welcome back, everybody. A live look up on top of McDonald Pass. Looks a lot better than it did at points this weekend when we had snow coming down. It's 40 degrees above the freezing point here, and some raindrops in the area. Loma, roads look okay here, but it's north central Montana where we could have some freezing rain issues here through this evening into the overnight hours. Great Falls, 29 degrees. Go 10 miles southwest of town, and we've got temperatures into the 40s. Helena, we're in the upper 30s in the valley area, but again, in the hills around town, we've got some warmer air coming in aloft here. Look at Bozeman, 50. Butte, America, up to 52 degrees. You get out ahead of this boundary, and we've got temperatures in the 20s still. 22 in Cup Bank. It's 42 in East Glacier. There, I've been plotting the wildfires, but really, I think you could almost stick a fork in this fire season, especially after all of the snow that we had. A little less moisture into the southwestern part of the state here. Real quickly, just in the last 15 minutes, a major earthquake out here in the Gulf of Alaska, 7.5 on the Richter scale, and they're checking the Alaska coast and also British Columbia for possible tsunami. That is a wave of water that could move towards the coast. But back home here, the pink indicating where there is likely freezing rain and or sleet. I showed you haze. Now the radar is trying to say it's snowing here, but you saw the raindrops on the camera. We've got temperatures in the 20s and liquid rain coming down. That's freezing on contact. There may be a little mix of snow out further around Malta and Saco and Glasgow, but the computer model wants to say it's just plain old rainfall. But north central Montana here, there will be freezing rain tonight. Very, very slippery, treacherous conditions here where we've got some freezing rain mixed with a little snow. Tonight, the front will move through the state here. Temperatures will drop. Tomorrow, not much going on after the morning rain shower or snow shower out there. Partly to mostly cloudy skies and fairly quiet. Most locations will get above the freezing point tomorrow. Enjoy it. Make hay while the sun is shining because we've got another storm coming in. Remember, winter storm watch down the Rocky Mountain front out into central Montana for Wednesday as yet another snow event. May start out with a little mix of rain and snow. We'll be moving into the state here though. Tonight into tomorrow morning, way out the high line, an inch or two of snow, but around Havre and Hayes and Harlem and Chinook, watch out for that freezing rain tonight. It's going to be slick. And then here comes that accumulation later on Wednesday that will likely fill in Wednesday night into Thursday. So here we are, Wednesday night. Look at the snow once again coming through a lot of the state, moving out on Thursday. We get a little break Thursday afternoon into Friday before yet another round of snow comes through for Friday into Saturday. Both systems will likely produce pretty good accumulation again. Tonight, a little mix of rain and snow and ice, temperatures in the 20s for most locations. Lewistown going back and forth a little bit. It's above freezing in Lewistown right now, and Helena should stay above freezing for the lows tonight. Here is the forecast for tomorrow. Again, maybe a few flakes or a few raindrops in the morning hours around Great Falls and Cascade. Look how much of the state should see a little sunshine and some warmer temperatures here. Helena making a run at 50 under mostly cloudy skies. Maybe an isolated shower in the hills around town, around the Helena area tomorrow, but Wednesday, a little mix of rain and snow going over to snow by Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. And then this weekend, it starts out snowy and the entire weekend is cold. Record cold possible. Parts of Montana will be dropping below 0 this weekend. Great Falls, a little warmer air moving in tonight into tomorrow, Wednesday night into Thursday. We've got some mixed rain going over to snow, accumulating a few inches. Deja vu all over again Friday night into Saturday, below 0 Saturday night.
We all know that COVID-19 can have a bigger impact on people with pre-existing conditions. But could just getting the coronavirus become a pre-existing condition itself? As Maya Rodriguez explains, the Supreme Court is preparing to hear a case that could change how insurers cover such conditions.
The U.S. remains in the grip of the coronavirus pandemic, with 8 million cases and spiking in multiple states.
There are many, many people not taking this seriously and not playing their part.
Now there are concerns that getting COVID-19 could land you in the same category as someone with diabetes or high blood pressure, having a pre-existing condition.
This has flown under the radar to some extent.
Eric Schneider is with the Commonwealth Fund, which researches health policy. Because COVID-19 can have lingering effects on people who contract it, Schneider says there's a possibility it could be labeled as a pre-existing condition. So who decides that?
The pre-existing condition language really traces to the insurance industry. Really on a case-by-case basis, which diseases, which conditions will actually count.
That hasn't mattered lately because the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, prohibits health insurers from denying people coverage based on pre-existing conditions. But next month, a case before the Supreme Court could get Obamacare thrown out. If that happens, there is no official plan yet from either party to replace it, nor to protect people with pre-existing conditions.
If the Supreme Court undoes that solution, there will definitely be a need for a new solution.
How many could be affected? The Department of Health and Human Services says about 133 million people in the U.S. currently have a pre-existing condition. The Commonwealth Fund looked at how COVID-19 survivors would affect that number, excluding people who already had a pre-existing condition and anyone over the age of 65. Researchers found 3.4 million new people who recovered from the coronavirus could join the ranks of having a pre-existing condition. It's a number growing, they found, by 20,000 a day.
That number is also tied to how well we control the pandemic.
So far, no insurance company has indicated it will add COVID-19 as a potential pre-existing condition. But healthcare policy experts warn it could all come down to what the justices decide about the healthcare law in next month's case. In Washington, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
Coming up next on the News at 5, the Red Cross is gearing up for their big blood drive before the holidays. How this year, though, is going to be extra difficult because of the pandemic.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. The need for blood donations is typically always high, but organizations are now saying the need may be higher than ever because of this pandemic. The American Red Cross is doing some small incentives, though, for donors now until November 11th with gift cards to help encourage people to donate. Donors can get a $5 Amazon gift card and be entered to win $1,000, all to help the nonprofit with their blood supply during this challenging time.
We are the exclusive blood provider to Bozeman Deaconess Health, which means that anytime that you donate through us, you are taking care of your hospital.
Anyone in Montana can download the American Red Cross app to see the available opportunities to donate blood. And we will wrap things up here when we come back.
Leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
We'll see you back here at 6. NBC Nightly News is next.